to another edition of our Skype Shiur. Thank you again to Meir Gabay and for January for arranging this Shiur. Now it's Shiur dedicated to Nishmat Rivka China and Gan Eden and להעביר חיים טובים ורפואה שלמה ויהיה לנו מלכה זהו רבקה רפואה שלמה. We're studying Parashat Ki Tisa. Ki Tisa at Rosh Bnei Israel. So this is it was a count Bnei Israel, and as you know, we're not allowed to count Jewish people, and it's bad for Mazal. How do we count Jewish people? We don't count them by names. We count them by head. We count them by pasuk. Or we say Shiat Amecha. We want to count 10 minyan. Or we count them with fingers or with coins. This week's parasha count Bnei Israel with coins. I wanted to look at the first pasuk in this parasha. You got a chumash with you?
Yes, Rabbi.
Thank you, Mo. So you look at the first pasuk in the parasha. Ki tisa et rosh bnei Israel. What does that mean? Ki tisa?
You carry.
Oh, very good. Who can I hear in the background? You mean what did you say it means? Tisa? So ki tisa, what does it mean ki tisa? Ki tisa in context, it means to count. When you count Bnei Israel. Ki tisa et rosh Bnei Israel. When you want to count the Bnei Israel, you want to know their numbers. V'natenu ish kofer nafsho leHashem b'fkodotam. Each person gives a half a shekel towards the building of the sorry, this is towards the korbanot. And nothing not before the Negev. And the pasuk talks about counting. How do we count Bnei Israel? The pasuk tells us we don't count them by head. We count them by coins. Each member of Bnei Israel gives a coin for the korbanot of the Beit Mikdash, for the Mishkan. And the pasuk says "V'lo yabem Negev," and we learn from here that it's dangerous to count. A Jewish person is not a number. A Jewish person is a high neshama, which is brought to this world for a specific purpose. And everyone has their job and part in Israel. We don't count them. If you want to know how many Jews there are, and here there's a census that Moshe Rabbeinu did. So there's a way of doing it. How did they do it? Everyone has to give their donation of half a shekel. And when you count all the numbers of the coins of half a shekel, then you know how many Jews there are. And Rashi tells us that Hashem showed Moshe, this is the coin of half a shekel. I want everyone to give it. Everyone gave the same amount. Poor person, rich person, everyone gave the same amount. Whereas when it came to the building of the Mishkan, everyone can give as much as they want. And here we see also, this is true even today. When you want to raise fundraising for a building, that everyone gives money. Everyone's generous, wants to give their name, want to do, want their name on the building, on the rooms, on the door, on the window, on the table. They want something that they can buy and that can last. When you're paying for korbanot, no one wants to pay for korbanot. If you ask me, okay, what are you going to do with my donation? You say, listen, we're building a synagogue. It's going to pay for the books. Okay, it's happy to pay for the books. Study them. It's going to last. You pay for the furniture. But when you're donating for the Mishkan, for the korbanot, so everyone says, okay, what are you going to do with the money? So you're going to buy a korban, and then what are you going to do with it? You're going to burn it. Okay? And then what are you going to do with you're going to buy another korban, then we're going to burn it in the afternoon. So everyone says, well, it's not really a good investment. And that's also true nowadays for the upkeep of yeshiva. If you want to build a yeshiva, everyone donates for the building. For the upkeep, to pay for the food, for the students to learn, for the cleaning expenses. This is something which is more difficult to give. What's a better donation? To give to the building, to give to the running? What would you say?
To give the building.
The building or for the running of the building? Who says running? Me. Why? Why for the running of the building? get the building, get your name on it. It's there forever. Why do you give for?
But without the building, you won't have the running. So the building comes
Exactly.
first.
You need both. You need both. But let's say I've got now an opportunity to give to a donation. Okay, I'm giving £1,000. I can either give it to the running of a organization, which will use it in one day, or maybe I can put it for a furniture and they can buy stuff which is going to last for many years.
But we talked before, like if you do a mitzvah and you keep benefit from it,
Yes,
if like let's say if you buy a Sefer Torah, so every time someone blesses Sefer Torah,
absolutely. Every time someone uses Sefer Torah, you get a zchut for that. So what's the better investment now? We're talking about mitzvah investor. We're getting a investment advice. Where should I do my mitzvah? So Meir said running, and he hasn't explained why yet. And Ma'or has given a very good reason why you should give to the building and not to running. Very good explanation. And this is actually true to the Gemara. The Gemara says about causing the fools that stand for the Sefer Torah, but they don't stand up for Talmid Chacham. Talmid Chacham, someone gives the Torah, and it's even more than the Sefer Torah. That's what the Gemara. Also, on a different aspect, I want to connect this to Parashat. Is you see when is it difficult? What's more difficult? It's much more difficult to give to the cleaning. Okay, you're going to give £1,000, and it's going to go to the cleaning of the yeshiva, yeah, or to the food of the yeshiva, which is all going to be gone in one day or even less, and it's going to be dirty the next day or whatever the yeshiva is going to be or institution. But it's money which the institution needs and the charity needs, and you're giving it to them, and it's something which is more difficult to give. It's very difficult to raise funds for that, and it's something which if no one else is giving and you're giving. So you're going to get this food for everyone. And something which is easy to give, then everyone else is also giving. When everyone else is giving, so the reward for it is great. But it's much greater when no one else is. When it's a difficult. And this is really what we want to study. In this week's parasha, I'm going to give you a few examples, Bezat Hashem, for this as well. So let's go back. And that's why go on. Yeah. You're saying because there's reward in this world, because you get your name on the building, so you're taken away from the Olam Haba. So that's very good. I was just pointing out a different aspect that when it's more difficult, so the reward is much greater, and when there's more people doing it, then the reward for it is much greater. I'll just give an example. I can't remember who it was. One of the tzaddikim of generation. I'm not sure if it was the Chazon Ish, maybe it was somebody else. And he was learning, and they called him out. They needed the minyan because they wanted to say kaddish. So they wanted to bury someone. So where are you going to find people Jewish kasher for minyan? You go to the Bet Midrash and you find somebody. So they found him there, and he was sitting there learning. And he said, "Would you mind to do this mitzvah?" Because it's a funny time at night. It was late at night, and there's not a lot of people around. It was late. So he said, "Okay, of course I'll do the mitzvah. You need a minyan, I'll help you." And then they said, "Okay, good. We're going to pay you for it, for your time, whatever it was. I don't know, 100 shekel for an hour's time." He said, "You're paying? Okay, so I don't want to go." So everyone was like, "What do you mean? When I said please come for free, then you were happy to help. Now I'm offering you money, you don't want to help? Now how'd you explain that?" So I think it was the Chazon Ish, and he said to them, "Listen, when you're stuck for a mitzvah and you needed the minyan, so you're stuck, so it's a big mitzvah to help you. But if you're paying for it, then you can find lots of people to do it for money. If to do it for money, you'll find a lot of people. If you can find a lot of people, so go find somebody else, and I will stay and sit and learn. Torah is more reward, is more profitable for the mitzvah to do with my time." That was the great lesson to learn from that. So next question is why. So that's why here everyone had to give. Everyone had to give a flat rate for the korbanot of half a shekel, and this was also used to count the Jewish people. Now let me ask you: if you're giving already, everyone giving a coin, so why don't you just give a whole coin? Why giving it a half a shekel? You know, why half? Well, what's the half? If everyone's giving one coin, you can give a whole coin. Why just half a coin? Half of a shekel.
Because we complete each other. We never know who is completing who. So we're all part of a whole.
Oh, thank you. That's a beautiful lesson, Gilad. Gilad says that we're all incomplete without each other, and that's when everyone is a number, but we are also Kol Yisrael Aravim Lezel Lazeh. We're all part of each other. Even individual, however important we are as Jews, but we have to realize we're all part of a nation. That's a beautiful understanding, Gilad. Thank you for that addition. So I want to share with you what I heard by B'Shem Rav Mansour. And he said this beautiful lesson. He says, what was the Mishkan? What was the purpose of the Mishkan?
מקום השכינה.
Excellent. It's Makom Hasharat HaShechina. It's the place where we see the presence of the Shekhinah. There was many miracles which happened in the Mishkan, and whoever was there, he actually absorbed the emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu by seeing the miracles that was there. And really, the Ramban says that the whole purpose of the Mishkan was to bring emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the hearts of Am Yisrael. Right? That's is to make the Mishkan in the hearts of the Jews. Betoch levam, betocham, inside them. Each one should feel HaKadosh Baruch Hu within the whole time. So to feel emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what's the message? And he said it's a beautiful lesson. He said, you have to realize that you don't see the whole story. You only see half the story. That's the half a shekel. Half a shekel is to correspond to analogy. That person can only know half the story. You see things and you wonder, why is things like that? Why is my son is different to everyone else? Why is my life is different? Or why these things happening to me? And the message is, have an emunah that Kadosh Baruch Hu sees the whole picture and everything's for the goodness of the whole. We only see half of it, and that's the message of the half a coin, the machatzit shekel. Just remember, your whole life you only see a half of you don't see the whole thing, the whole point. Okay. Furthermore, I want to show you what does the pasuk say? Ki Tisa et rosh bnei Yisrael lefkudehem. When you want to count the bnei Yisrael and the numbers, venatenu ish kofer nafsho. Each one should give the coin for themselves. Kofer nafsho the pidyon lashem. That means you have to give your own coin corresponding to yourself. So what is the word venatenu? Venatenu means and they shall give. Now, venatenu, we mentioned this before in previous years, and I have to mention it every time we see Ki Tisa. There's a famous Baal HaTurim. What does Baal HaTurim say? Does anybody remember the Baal HaTurim?
I think it's if you read it from the start or the end, it's Kam Venatnu.
Excellent. So in English, we call it a palindrome. What's a palindrome? You can read it forwards and backwards. Venatinu.
And that's the middle of the Torah as well? No, not yet.
No, so that's a different part. But here, like what Maor said, Venatinu is a palindrome. You can read it forward and backward. Like in English, you have race car. Race car, you can read it forwards and backwards, the letters. Here, Venatinu. Now, what's the message behind that, Maor? What's the message of Venatinu, Baal HaTurim?
If you give, you get back.
Exactly. If you give, you get back. If you give, you get back. Now, what does it mean if you give, you get back? So there's different levels of understanding what it means. And the simple level, which we always talk about, is when you're giving tzedakah, who are you really giving to? It's a deposit for yourself. The Gemara says, Melach Mamon Chaser. What does it mean, Melach Mamon Chaser? When you want to preserve meat, and on all the days, they didn't have a fridge or freezers. It wasn't commonly available to anyone. How did you preserve meat? So you had to preserve meat by salting it. Melach. When you put salt, what does the salt do? It absorbs all the juice from the meat. And then the meat stays preserved for a long time. And I think even until nowadays in Africa, South Africa, you can buy bouton, which is red meat, which is salted. It's not even cooked, and it's dried. For a long time, it stays fresh and you can eat it. Melach mamon chaser. If you want people have money, you have money in your account. How do you make sure that money lasts? Money comes, money goes. If you want to hold on to the money that you have, how do you keep it? The Gemara says, Melach mamon chaser. You give it a little bit away. If you give a bit of chaser, mamon chaser, melach mamon chaser, if you give away a little bit of your money, that's what salts it, that's what preserves it. And the analogy is with the meat. Someone, he's got his big juicy piece of meat. He wants to enjoy it. He wants to enjoy all the money that he has. When you salt it, so the meat loses some of its juice. So it seems like you have a bit less. Right? That's when you give charity. You feel like you're getting a bit less. So you feel like you're losing your meat, you're losing your money. The Gemara tells you, no, melech mamon chaser is to look after your money, is to preserve it. Because that's what preserves the meat and keeps it lasting for a long time, is salting it. Even though you lose a little juice in the beginning, but that's what stays fresh. What happens if you don't salt it? If you don't salt the meat, what happens? You want to keep your meat big and lean and juicy. Very good for a day, 2 days. But after a while, the whole meat goes bad and you lose everything. And that's the same thing with charity. You have money, you think about it, okay, I want to enjoy my money. You want to enjoy your money? Give it a little. That is how you preserve it. And that's Venatanu. And this is really everything when we giving, when you go to the bank and you deposit, okay? You feel like you're giving away money. You're giving away when you're putting it in a machine, a cash machine, or you deposit money in the bank. You're depositing to your own account. It's your own account. That's exactly how you should feel when you're giving away money to charity. You're giving to tzedakah, you're giving for a good cause. You're giving to the Aniyei Echad, the people of your city, of your community, your own family, or to Talmidei Chachamim in Eretz Israel. You're giving to a good cause. You know that money is going into your account in Shamayim. You have an account. Imagine you have an account in Shamayim. Everyone. Think about it like this, okay? Let's say you have £1 million, okay, more, and you have 10 minutes to spend that money. And after that 10 minutes, all the £1 million turns into paper money, worthless. So what are you going to do in 10 minutes? You're going to buy whatever you can to get the best out of the money. You got 10 minutes. And if you think about it, that's how everyone's money is in their lifetime. You have money in your lifetime, but let's say after we go, all the money's left is just worthless. We don't take anything with us. There's a story. Somebody asked the rabbi, he wants to be buried with his money. He was going to die. He said, Rabbi, please, I want you to be responsible for all my treasure account. You take all the money, and I want you to make sure I'm buried with it. That's my last will. I trust you, and I want you to do that. So he said, okay, I'll do that. Comes to bury it. And all the family say, okay, please, Rabbi, bury it, put all the money inside the burial where we're pouring it. He says, okay, fine, And the rabbi takes out a check, writes him a check, and puts it in the burial. He said, what do you mean? You don't take money with you. You can't ask to be buried with your money. Well, everyone has an account in Shamayim, and the way that we can take our money with us is by depositing in the charity account. When you giving money to a charity, that's when you're depositing in your own account. You're giving to your own their own pakid, your own account to the person who's working for you. That's the money you can take with you. That's nothing. Now that's all in Olam Haba language. Now I'm teaching you a different chidush. This is what I want to give you a few examples today. Venatenu doesn't only mean when you give, you get it back in Olam Haba. Venatenu means when you give, you get it back also in Olam Haba. And it doesn't mean only you give back in Olam Haba. You get it back in a big way. And I'm going to tell you a few beautiful stories to illustrate this. And it's not only with money, not only tzedakah, but also with chesed, when you're giving to other people in chesed. What's the difference between chesed and tzedakah? Does anybody know?
So tzedakah is the equality, is to equalize in a way, okay, the misjustice. So the fact that some have more and some have less. So in a way we equalize it. Tzedakah chesed is to do way and beyond, over what you expect to do, over what you should do in a situation.
Now, how are you explaining tzedakah?
Tzedakah it's just at the most basic level to try and somehow equalize the inequality.
Okay,
So,
and chesed?
chesed you do beyond. Chesed you do
Okay.
above
So you're saying
and beyond. Above
tzedakah
and
is what a
beyond what.
person needs, and chesed you're saying is given more than what they need. That's what you're saying. So I'll tell you, the Mesilat Yesharim says there's 3 differences between chesed and tzedakah. Does anyone want to say something?
I heard, I think, like from Rabbi Baruch Rosenblum,
Okay.
that basically chesed that you're giving without being asked. Like something like that. Like chesed, it's like you give when you don't need to give. Like
So like you're saying like Gilad is
that's
saying.
the extra mile.
Extra,
And
doing extra than what you need. Tzedakah is something what you need.
yeah.
Okay, what do you say, Meir? Okay, so you're saying similar things. I want to tell you very clearly, this is very important to know. The Mesilat Hasharim says there's 3 differences between tzedakah and chesed. Okay, first difference is tzedakah is with money, the mammon, and chesed is beguf. Okay, that means charity you do when you give somebody £1. That's charity. That's chesed, that's tzedakah. But chesed is when you do with your guf, with your body. That means you open a door for someone, that's chesed. It's not tzedakah. Tzedakah is you giving them money. Chesed is you open the door for them or you help them carry something. That's chesed. That's number 1. Number 2, tzedakah is done with poor people. And chesed is done even with rich people. Okay, a rich person is sometimes he's got money, but he needs help in other areas. Maybe he needs help in health issues. Maybe he needs different connections. But you can help even a rich person. That's chesed. And the third difference is that tzedakah you can only do with people who are alive. But chesed you can do even with people who are dead. That's chesed shel emet. That's the 3 differences that the Mesilat Yesharim says. Tzedakah and chesed. But both of them go together, and both of them have got similar rewards. And you see them all together in Pesukim and Tehillim, tzedakah and chesed, and many times throughout that. So I want to give you just a few stories about tzedakah and chesed, where we see this example of natanu that you give and you get back immediately in Olam Hazeh. One of my go on, Chawad, before.
Sorry, Rabbi. I just want to ask: can you do chesed to animals as well? No, or not, or it doesn't consider as chesed if you see, like hungry.
No, very interesting. If you see a cat stuck under I don't know what, in a fence, and you open it, so I think there is. Yeah, I was also thinking about rachamim.
So there is a debate between Rambam and Ramban about this. So that's a super interesting question. So if you think of if the rachamim מתגלגל to animals or not, and there is
it's machloket?
Of course, a serious machloket about if we think about siluk haken. Shiloh haken. Sorry. So trying to explain the mitzvah. So it's interesting to read the very, very different perspective about this the shorish mitzvah. Why we need to do shiloh haken, and Ramban said that no, and Rambam say definitely yes.
Say yes. That what? What's
yes that there is rachamim on בעלי חיים and שמתגלגלים רחמי שמיים, which means that according to this approach, what Mo said is true, and there is chesed also to animals.
So is there chesed if you give a dog food?
Well, I think that specifically for dogs, maybe not, because actually it's written that we need to give them food. Sorry?
There is actually a special thing for dogs because it's hard for them to find food rather than other animals, which is easier for them to find food.
But let's say for other animals, so I think
giving
that if
food
you see
to birds, feeding birds, is that a mitzvah? Chesed?
I personally think it is.
And what about building a bird's nest? Building a house for a bird? Is that also a mitzvah? Chesed? I don't know. I'll look up into that. It's a very interesting question, Mo. I'll look up and try and find sources for next week. Let's continue with the Shiur. And I want to go on. No, interesting point. It could be that it could be you're right. It could be there's different in by Noach because he was preserving all the all the species for future generations. But no, but I think you are right that there was also chesed involved in there constantly by Noach doing chesed to all the animals. So very interesting. I'll research the topic with Hashem.
Yeah, no, also I heard because he sent the hand out for the pigeon, for the Yonah, that's
Can.
also to savor like the last
Nachon,
fish.
Nachon, excellent. Good proof. Unbelievable. Mo, I'm very happy. You just did a very good proof from the Torah. That Noach, he took out his hand. We said in the Shiur that he did chesed also with the bird. So very good. So you see that there is a mitzvah of chesed also with the bird. Nachon. What do we see by Rabbi and the lamb? He had Rachman with the lamb. No, but would you call it? Would you call it as chesed? You know, if I give money, if I buy a jacket for my dog, is that chesed? Or if I buy him a doghouse, maybe it is. Okay, so it could be making it easier for
I think that again, I think we need to be careful here, okay? Because
Yeah.
I'm to buying your dog a jacket is, if it's winter and
Yeah.
it can make a difference between a dog freezing to death or not. So that's definitely chesed. Because in a way, if you think
Oh
about
no.
if you
Yeah,
think
but
about what is chesed, the chesed is if we think of midat adin and midat chesed. So I think that that's the point that you could measure chesed towards animals. To say the same you would like when your day comes and some events comes for Shamayim to treat you with midat chesed, don't midat adin. So the same way you should treat animals when you can.
Yeah, of course we're talking about Barachamav al kol ma'asav. I'm not talking about when the dog is gonna die. You feed them whatever you need to feed them, and
No, but I'm not. But it's even in small things. It's not really only about life.
Also in small things, but I want to say it's things which, like you said, that the dog doesn't need. Luxury. He doesn't need it. You're just giving it to him because you want him to look good. Yeah, a new collar. Okay, or you got there's different dog food, and you get him better dog food, more expensive. Better. Just is that a chesed? Is that a mitzvah? He's not gonna die. He's not gonna get alive. A house. Okay, so let's talk about that first. So let's see. No, but it's just a very interesting point, and I want to know if there's also chesed. I'll look into that to find a proof of source for it. But we do want to talk about tzedakah and chesed with people, which there's no safek about that, and no machloket. And there's a great mitzvah of tzedakah and chesed to Jewish people wherever they are in the world. So I want to share with you two beautiful stories, and this is from my mom. I heard this first hand with one of her very good friends. And this friend, she lives in London, and she makes shaitels. That's what her job is. She sells wigs, ladies' wigs. And she was saying a story. This is what my mom told me. Venatanu, when you're giving, you receive immediately in this world. In olam hazeh. What was the story? So came to her a kala yetoma. It was an orphaned kala. Which is double mitzvah. Yeah, kala is a mitzvah, and orphan is also mitzvah. Girl when she gets married, she covers her hair, and one of the ways of covering her hair is to wear a shaitel or wig. So this Jewish girl came and explained the situation. She had very limited funds, and a shaitel is very expensive. Cost several £100, £1,000, £2,000. And she said, this is my limited budget. I said, okay, no worries. And you can try on, she tried a couple of different tries. And what was the story? She was happy with it. And my mom's friend, she gave her a special discount. She said, you just need to pay the minimum fee of the cost price. And she's not going to take any profit, any money from it. And also she's going to do all the work there needs to be done in making of the shaitel, she's going to do that for free. She's going to all do that for free. And she ended up paying something like, 25% of the price. That's what she gave her for a shaitel. Now, normally when, a lady gets married, so it's very normal she has, one simple wig for weekday and then a nicer one for Shabbat. So she was trying on a few different ones, and she ended up taking 2. She agreed she was only going to give 1 at the special discount. And as she was trying them on, she put them both in the bag. She said, thank you very much. She paid the money she had.
My apologies, I can hardly understand anything. Just
okay. Where was the last thing you understood?
What was the last minute, probably?
Okay. There was an orphaned bride. A bride, Kala, who's getting married, and she was in the shaitel shop. She was trying on different peot shaitels because she's getting married. And my mom's friend, she was the owner of the store, the shop. She agreed because it's a special case of she was an orphan and she had limited funds. So she said she agreed she's going to give her a pe'ah, a shaitel for her for a quarter of the price, which is even less than cost price, and she's going to do everything, all the rest for free, all the services, no profit. To make her feel good that she let her try on a few different ones, and she was very pleased. She was very happy, excited. She's getting married, and she's got a good shaitel, good quality one, very cheap. And she was trying one on maybe for weekday, one for Shabbat, and she ended up taking 2 of them, and she only paid for 1 of them. The owner of the shop, she agreed she was going to give 1 at a discount price. And she was all excited, and I don't know if she didn't realize or she didn't do it on purpose, but she ended up taking 2 bags, and she was walking out the store with 2 shaitels, only having paid for 1 of them at a discount price of only a quarter, right? So she's missing a couple of £1,000, the owner. And the secretary of the store, she saw her walking out, and she was about to stop her. He said, "Hey, wait, yeah." And the owner said, "Listen, just leave it. Don't, just let her go." She just waved her hand, said, keep quiet. She walked out. She turned around, she said to her, "But listen, she only paid for 1. She took 2. And even the 1 she paid, the only discount price was very cheap." And she said, "Doesn't matter. Listen, she's a kala, she's a bride, she's getting married, and she's an orphan. I don't wanna, ruin her simcha. Let her be happy. Don't worry. Hashem will send." And she was just looking at her. He said, "Listen, I don't know. It's a lot of money. It's not like a £10 discount or £100 discount. I'm saying if I got the figures right, something like a £3,000 discount." And she said, "Listen, it doesn't matter." And it was very difficult for her to say that. It's not small money for anybody. And the secretary was very surprised. And okay, she didn't say anything. You're the boss. You're the boss. Your money. And then she went for a lunch break. The boss, she's standing there, and she said, my mom said the story that it didn't even pass 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, she, sitting at the desk, and there's no secretary there, and the phone rings. Now, this my mom's friend, the boss, she never answers the phone. When she's in the store, she does not answer the phone. The secretary answers the phone. If there's no secretary, then the phone rings. Wait till the secretary comes. And she was sitting on the desk, and she was just thinking about this young girl getting married that she just got away. And the phone rings, and I don't know why she decided why, one-off strange moment, she's going to pick up the phone. Who's on the other line? Who's on the phone? It's a lady calling from Knightsbridge. Knightsbridge is I think it's a rich Arabian lady, and she said she's going to come and order. She wants to come. She wants to order wigs, a lady's wigs. She said she came from Knightsbridge. She wanted the address. She came in a cab, black cab from Knightsbridge, and she came in her house gown, like in her bathrobe. She came in a bathrobe into the store, and she bought 3 ladies' wigs. Each one's worth a couple, I don't know, £1,000. and she paid all of them in cash. And the secretary came back and she said, "Listen, all the money that I gave to the bride, I got back all from from this goy non-Jewish lady who came and just bought out. I made enough profit on all of the 3 weeks that she made. It was another enough to cover the 5,000, all the both the weeks that she did. All the 5 weeks, all covered by the 3 weeks." And the message is, and this is my mom always says this: when you do chesed, and you do tzedakah, and you do kindness, and you do it belev shalem, l'shem shamayim. Even if it's difficult, Hashem pays back, and Hashem pays back immediately. And my mom uses the phrase, Hashem shalem b'mezuman. He pays back in cash. He said, she got back everything that she gave away, and immediately. I'll say another story with the same friend. We were together on holiday in south of France. I think it was a Chag, one of the Chagim, and they were staying together in a hotel in the south of France. And my sister-in-law was there, and she had a baby. And I don't know why she just landed and she forgot to bring a baby's bottle, a bottle for the baby. And my mom's friend, she was going out with her husband, to go out to see Monaco, to see the place, Letayel, to see the city of Monaco. So my mom said to her, "Listen, on your way, you're going out. Please do me a favor. If you come across some kind of pharmacy, or there's any shop where you see they can sell babies, we need a bottle for the baby." They say, "Sure, take one, whatever you want. Okay, don't worry. Then, yeah, I'll pay you. Okay, don't worry about it. We'll get you a bottle." It's very nice of her. She's a very good friend and very got a very good heart. And she went with her husband. That's her husband. Okay, we're going to go out. So, where should we go first? In Monaco, there's the casino, there's the royal, the family, the castle. There's a lot to see in Monaco. She said, "First, we're going to get the bottle for the baby." I said, "What do you mean we're going to go to the bottle? We've got one day here. We're not in Monaco every day. We'll go. If we see on the way a pharmacy, we'll get it." He said, "No. First, we're going to get the bottle. We're not doing anything. We're not going anywhere until we get the bottle." And you see here when your mitzvah comes along, not easy. It was a Sunday. Stores are closed. Shops are closed on Sunday. Many shops. I want to get for tikva. She needs for her granddaughter. He wants for the bottle. I'm going to get for the baby. Then her husband sees, he's not going anywhere with arguing. So he might as well help, try and get it over with. Okay. So, they were looking around trying to find the pharmacy which is open, which they have, where they can find it. They found a pharmacy. They go in. He pays for the bottle. She's at the till and she's paying for the bottle. Just finished paying for the bottle. And who walks into the store in the pharmacy in Monaco? To see my mom's friend. It's one of her customers from Austria, who happens to be on Monaco on the same day. And she says, "Oh, hi, how are you?" He says, "Oh, good to see you. How are you?" Listen, I've got a very important wedding coming up in, I don't know, in a month's time or something. And I need to get 2 shaitels, 2 ladies' wigs. And I don't have time to come to London. I want to give you a ticket. Here's money for the ticket. Please fly to Austria. Bring me a few samples, and I want to buy for you and do me the whole, set me up there, ready for the wedding. She turns around. She said, "Thank you very much." She turns around to her husband. "See, I told you. Would you ever believe it? Oh, this is what would happen. When you go into a chesed and you do a kindness for someone else, and here this wasn't a charity. You didn't give any money away. You did the chesed. My mom needed someone to buy a bottle. My mom can afford a bottle. She doesn't need, a few pounds, still a bottle, a few euros. But she needed somebody to go to a pharmacy and get it. That was a chesed. And that chesed Hashem paid back immediately. And they didn't pay back immediately. He paid back cash mizuman. And she made that was big business. And always was, because it was difficult. When you do a mitzvah, when it's difficult, you see how much Hashem pays back. That was very hard. It's your holiday time. You're limited. You're with your husband. You want to go out and enjoy. You don't need to go find, take the bottle. But if you realize you're willing to give up a little bit for someone else, to do a chesed, you kindness, before, not even with the rich people knowing with, then Hashem pays you back. Pays you back big time. That was the second step. So you see that you can do tzedakah with poor people, do chesed even with rich people and even with friends. And I want to share with you one last story about this topic. And I heard this from Rabbi Netanel. He said this beautiful story. There was two friends, two girls, and they were going to a wedding, one of the friends' weddings, and they were traveling to Bnei Brak on the bus. So one of them got on the bus, going on the way to the wedding. As she gets on the bus, her friend calls her up and says, "Hi, Rifki, whatever. Let's go together to the wedding." She goes, "What do you mean go together? I'm already on the bus. I didn't wait for you. I've got a wedding. I'm going." He says, "Oh, why do you go? Why don't you wait for me? Let's go together." He goes, "What do you mean let's go together? It would be nice to travel with you, but I'm already on. I've already paid. I've already sat down. I'm on my way." So she says, "Listen, why should you go by yourself? Get off the bus. Wait at the bus stop. My bus will come along afterwards. Get on my bus, and well, I'll pay for both of us. I'll pay for both of us. So at least we can travel together on the way to Bnei Brak forever, an hour drive, where it is together." Like, listen, what's the point? We'll get there. We'll enjoy. Just listen. Why should you be alone? I'll be alone. Please do it for me. I'll pay for your ticket. Come on, let's go on the bus together. And she's thinking, okay. She tells the bus driver to get off the stop, and she gets off the bus. And as she's getting off the bus, she sees the bus driving me. And then she says to herself, why am I doing this? Why did I just get off the bus? I already paid. And I have to stay here and wait. The next bus comes, and I don't know when it's going to come, if it's going to come, and just to be with my friend. And she's thinking about regretting. And she says, listen, I've done it already. I've already done it. And it's for my friend. I might as well be happy about it. Not to regret the mitzvah, which I did. I did it, okay, to be with my friend, to be with her. The next, 20 minutes later, the bus comes. She gets on. She sees her friend, and they're happy all the way to. And then she realized that the bus that she was on was in a car crash, and the bus crashed. And she realized when she got off the bus for her friend, really she saved her life. When she did a chesed, when it was difficult for her, why did you do it? And you didn't understand even why, but it was for someone else. It's for a friend. Do you do a chesed for a friend? He said, Hashem pays. This is tzedakah tatil mimavet. We don't realize that. Friends ask us for favors. Okay, we like doing favors for friends. When it's easy, we'll do it. Or if it's a bit difficult. Okay, it costs you time. It didn't cost her money. This time, it didn't cost her any money, this chesed. It's a free chesed. But it was a chesed before, not before. Chesed with your body, not with your money. To get off, give up a bit of your time, go to your friend. It was a friend. It wasn't any miscanned person that didn't have any food. It was a friend, wanted to come with me. Yeah, why not? I'm a good friend. I'll do that for you. Do chesed with someone else, Hashem will save you. That's the lesson of the nothing. You think you're giving, you're getting back. My mom's friend, she thought she was giving away. Look how much she gained. When you give away, you gain. And that's the sorting money. To look after money by giving. I want to end off maybe with a last idea of the al-Shif. Let's turn your Chumash to the end of the page. Is there any questions so far?
Not for me.
Okay, thank you. What was the story at the end of the parasha? What was the story? If you look in Perek Lamed Bet, Moshe goes up to Har Sinai to accept the Luchot. He's going up to Har Sinai to receive the Torah. And Am Yisrael are waiting for him. Look at Pasuk, Perek Lamed Pasuk Aleph. Vayar ha'am, and the people see, ki boshesh Moshe laredet min ha'ar. What does it mean, boshesh Moshe? What does it mean, boshesh?
So he got delayed.
Thank you. Who said that? Gilad? Excellent. Moshe was delayed. What happens when you're delayed? Now here's a big lesson in coming in time.
But it was not really delayed. It was just they didn't count properly. But
Excellent, Gilad. He didn't count properly. They miscalculated. He said, listen, I'm coming down back after 40 days. Okay, so they miscalculated and they were about off by half a day. And they didn't realize that the day comes after the night, and he was coming back on the night. They thought he was coming back in the beginning. Okay. What happened? What happened as a result of their miscalculation? And this is what happens when you miscalculate and you jump to conclusions too quickly. Vayakel ha'am al Aaron. They came to Aaron and they said, Kum na'aseh lanu Elokim. Make for us a God asher ילכו לפנינו, כי זה משה האיש אשר ידענו מארץ מצרים ולא ידענו מה היה לו. They didn't know what happened to Moshe Rabbeinu. And then they take off the jewelry, the gold. And they take off the ears and they put it into give to Aaron to make the Egel HaZahav. And in fact, the Pasuk doesn't tell us over here, but they actually went to Hur. Who was Hur?
Son of Miriam.
Hur was the son of Miriam. Is that right?
Yeah, and they killed him.
They killed him. They killed Hur. Hur wasn't scared of anyone. Hur said, listen, it's wrong. It's wrong what you're doing. And he didn't agree to them. And they killed him. That's how far they went. You see, when you're upset with your rabbi, so maximum, nowadays you fire the rabbi. But here, Hur got killed. So also Hur was a husband. But Gilad said is the son. I thought it was the husband. And I can't find it where it's written down now.
No, I think that Nachshon was her husband.
Nachshon married to Nachshon was Shevet Yehuda. He was married to Okay, you got me now. Let's do a search. Yeah. Uri ben Hur למטה יהודה. עדנה. הנה. He is son of Miriam. Hur was the son of Miriam. Yeah, get it out right. The Rashi says in Shema Perek Yud Zayin, Pasuk Yud, that Hur was the son of Miriam, and Kalev was her husband. Kalev was the husband of Miriam.
Sorry.
Yeah. Hur was the son of Miriam, Kalev was her husband. Okay, thank you to my computer for that. Okay, so back to what they did, they killed Hur. So you see somebody gets angry at the rabbi, like how far it can go. Nowadays you get angry at the rabbi, so okay, you sack the rabbi, you give him. But here they actually killed him. They killed Hur. And when Aaron Cohen saw that, so he realized he had to do a different plan. Because if they killed him and they killed Hur, then there's no kapara for Am Yisrael. So he helped them, and they built the Egel HaZahav. And he tried to do it slowly and give time to Moshe to come back. They rise the next morning and they do korbanot, this Egel HaZahav, and they eat and they drink and they laugh and they make jokes and they dance. And then Hashem says to Moshe, go down the mountain and they go see what they've done. They've ruined everything that they've done. They've gone bad from the way very quickly. שציפיתים עשו להם עגל מסכה. They made an עגל made molten gold. They השתחוו לו, they bowed down to it, ויזבחו. ויאמרו, and they said, אלה אלוקיך ישראל. Believe it. They pointed to the עגל הזהב, and they said, this is the God of Israel. Look us out. Moshe can't believe this, and he comes down. When he sees them, even the Moshe, and he goes and he smashes them. ויפרח משה וישלח בידיו את הלב. He smashes them, וישבר אותם תחת. So the Al-Sheikh HaKadosh, and I want to bring it, so this is the famous story everyone knows. Al-Sheikh says a beautiful question. He says, why? Why did this all happen? Why was there Egel Zav? Why did Moshe Rabbeinu smash them? Right? Because he came late. Yeah, oh, he didn't come late, they miscalculated. Okay? What if he could have come back half a day late? What would have happened? What would have happened if he would have come back?
Rabbi, you were disconnected. Sorry, last 2 sentences.
Well, I said the story, what happened when Moshe Rabbeinu went up, and then Hashem told him that Am Yisrael have ruined everything that they've done. They started serving the idols, and they're saying, Zeh Elokecha Yisrael, pointing to the Egel Azav, the golden calf, saying, this is the God of Israel that took care of South Mitzrayim. And Moshe Rabbeinu comes down and he smashes the Lochot. And I'm presenting you now the beautiful question of the Al-Sheikh HaKadosh. Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh, he asks, why did Moshe Rabbeinu smash the Lochot when he saw the Egel Zav? Why did the whole thing happen? All because he was delayed by half a day. What would have happened if he would have come back half a day earlier?
What would have happened?
Yeah, what would have happened?
So Beit HaMikdash would exist forever?
No Egel Azav. They would not kill Chor. No one would have killed Chor. No serving idols. They wouldn't have done a Egel Azav, and they wouldn't have smashed the Lochot. Why? For kapara. So very interesting. So listen to the way that Al-Sheikh asked the question, and it's really beautiful if you think about it. So he makes a calculation. He would have come back half a day earlier. He would have come down the mountain. He would have not smashed the Luchot. No Egel Zav. We would not have to be mechapetul now of the Egel Zav, and he would not have smashed the Luchot. There wouldn't be the second Luchot and everything.
But okay, we need to be careful here, and I'll tell you why. Because if this tendency exists within them, so they would have failed in the next test, or the next test, or the next test. So it's almost inevitable in a way. You understand what I'm saying?
What's inevitable to not make a mistake?
If their level of commitment and emunah is at the level that because it was late by half a day, after all the things they've seen and witnesses, it made them behave like that. So it was just one event that they skipped, but in the next test, in the next difficulty, or next difficulty, eventually it will come out, or maybe not. I don't know, but you understand what I'm saying? You're
saying it could be that you just saved them from one thing, but it would have failed the next time. You just saved them from one test. Okay, it's a very good point. I accept that. And also, Meir is saying also a very good point that there is an opportunity for forgiveness over here. You see, after Moshe Rabbeinu smashes the first Luchot, he goes up and gets the second Luchot. And it's the second Luchot, which is Salachti Kidvarecha, and that's what we have Yom Kippur for generations. And it could be that it goes together. What you're saying, Gilad, is that, if they didn't sin now, then they would sin later, and at least this giving an opportunity to come back. So
I think it's interesting that the parasha starts with מחצית השקל לכפר על הנפשות and ends up with חטא העגל, where actually לכפר על הנפשות you need only half a shekel, where they were doing the sins with nizmei zahav. So just saw the proportion between the magnitude of sin and how simple it is to do tshuva. If you think of מחצית השקל מול nizmei zahav, it's like an interesting concept.
Absolutely, it's very good, interesting. I think we mentioned it also in Parashat Truma also about this concept. When you come to do Avera, you come give the gold and the Zahav. When you come to donate, it's different level. So we spoke about that in previous Shiurim. But listen to this Al-Sheikh. This is beautiful, beautiful Al-Sheikh. He says, look at a completely different angle. Completely different angle. He says, you know what the Torah is teaching you now? When Moshe Rabbeinu was late for by half a day, so you're looking at all the bad things. Okay, they did the Egel Zahav, they killed Chur, they smashed the Luchot. But what good happened? So the Gemara says, Moshe Rabbeinu, when he went up to Shamayim, what did he learn? What did he do there for 40 days? What was he doing? What was he doing in Shamayim for 40 days? Looking around in Shamayim, all the different malachim, taking pictures, having a tour of Shamayim. What was he doing there? What was Moshe Rabbeinu doing in Shamayim for 40 days? Anybody? Learning. What was he learning?
Torah Shabbat.
He was learning Torah. For 40 days, he was learning Torah. Yeah? Now let me ask you a question, Meir. How much of the Torah did you learn in 40 days? Yeah. How much did Moshe Rabbeinu learn in 40 days? Moshe kibel Torah misinai.
Everything. What do you mean?
Everything. Moshe kibel Torah misinai. That is what we say. In Pekah, Moshe kibel, he received the Torah. Torah shebichtav and Torah shebe'al peh. Everything he received in Sinai. Next question. How long did it take me just to get this? How long?
Probably 10 years? I don't know.
No, I did it in less than 7
It's
years.
6.5.
I did it in 6.5 years, okay? My brother Rabbi Abraham, I think he did it in 4.5 years. Yeah? He did express. I think less than 5 years he did it. I did it in less than 7 years. I've been learning for over 16 full-time, full day. 16. I have not reached yet, not half of the Torah, I don't know, a small percentage of it. How did Moshe Rabbeinu learn the whole Torah? How do you learn everything? No way. It will take you a lifetime and you will not learn.
Because of the Anava.
Which Anava? How can you learn the whole Torah in 40 days? There's no way possible. No genius in the whole world, including all the Gedolim in our generation, no one can learn in 40 days. Your lifetime work and Amalet Torah. Again.
Download.
Exactly. Who said download?
It's not a download, it's an install.
It's a download. He's right. But how'd you get the download? And that's what we're talking about now tonight. How'd you get the download? The Gemara says Moshe Rabbeinu, he went on for 40 days. Lamad v'shachach. He was learning every day and he forgot it. Until came the last day. And on the last day, ביום ה-40, קיבל הכל במתנה. למד ושכח, עד שביום האחרון קיבל בכל מתנה. So, let me ask you a question. If you get it on the last day b'matana, so why do you need 40 days? Scratch the 40 days, give him 1 day b'matana. You're giving him a matana, give it to him in 1 day. Why do you need 40 days to give him a present? How long does it take him to do the download? It's not a 40-day download. He said he forgot it, and on the last day he did the download. So why do you need him there for 40 days?
There is something now in 40 that if you start like a journey, like you need I don't know how to explain it, but basically only after 40 days there is a change.
Very good. So 40 days is a change, and 40 days is purity. Like the Ubar. Ubar is formed after 40 days. And the mikveh is 40 sa'ah. It's the purity. So you're right, there is a forming of purity. So here we're asking, why did Moshe Rabbeinu need it? Hashem chonel adam da'at. I don't know. Maybe this is supposed to look for it. Mishneh. And then you find that for me, Meir. I'm not sure what you're referring to. But what's the story of Moshe Rabbeinu? The Gemara said he forgot it for 40 years. Do you know why? Because for 40 days he was trying. That's what you need to do. You need to try your best. When you're trying for 40 days, like Moshe Rabbeinu, learning, forgetting, basaf hakol b'matana. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu got it. The last day he got everything as a present. Now I'm going to ask you a different question. Moshe Rabbeinu, he learned everything, kol Torah b'Har Sinai. When did he get the whole Torah on Har Sinai? When? The last day of the 40 days of Har Sinai. So now if I ask you, what would have happened if you would have left half a day earlier? What would have happened?
We didn't have Torah Sheba'al Peh.
Not Torah Sheba'al Peh today. All of the Torah that we have today, all of the Torah, we would not have it Moshe Rabbeinu if we would have come down. So you think, okay, there was Egel Zav, terrible. They killed the Chor, terrible. They smashed the Luchot, terrible. But we got the Torah. Imagine, you would have saved that, but you would have lost the whole Torah. What would you gain? Al-Sheikh HaKadosh says, you know what, here we learn a fabulous, unbelievable lesson from this. What is the Torah teaching us? Torah teaches us if you're coming at a time when it's difficult, when it's a time of Rifyon, when the time when Am Yisrael are sinning and they're doing Egel Azav, at that time when there's Egel Azav, that is the time when Moshe Rabbeinu gets the whole Torah Sheba'al Peh as a present. That's the gift. When people are doing Averot in the street, when people are doing difficult things, and you're coming and you're doing mitzvah, where are people going to, and you're coming to a Shiur to learn Torah, instead of what they're doing, Averot, where when they're doing other things, going to different parties, wasting their time, wasting their life, and you're coming to learn Torah, you're doing that special effort. It's difficult. You know, you have to give up certain things. You're not always available and free on Thursday night to come to Shiur, or any night to come to Shiur. But when you do that difficult, you're going to gain a greatest gift. That's the matana. Moshe Rabbeinu, he got the whole Torah as a gift at the time when Am Yisrael were doing the Egel Azav. That's the lesson. When you do things when it's difficult, then Hashem gives the biggest gifts. Now, we've spoken a lot about doing chesed and doing charity and giving to people and giving to friends. But this is Shevet HaLevi. I'm going to just say this last point and then we'll end up with a beautiful story. The Rav Shevet HaLevi of Shmuel Vosno, he says, this is when he said, Mi Allah Hashem Elai. Shevet Levi. Shevet Levi was the Kohanim, the Leviim. How did they get the Kohanim? Because when Moshe Rabbeinu said, Mi Allah Hashem Elai, who's going to be with me? And to kill all those people who did the Avodah Zarah. Shevet Levi came forward. Shevet Levi did not take part in the Egel Zav. And that's how they got all the Kohana. That's what they merited to. Otherwise it would have been the Bechor. The Bechor would have got it. And we lost that, and Levi took it. Because if you stand strong at a time of difficult, time of Nisayon, then you'll get tremendous reward. At the time of Egel Zav, that's when Moshe Rabbeinu. You know, now generation, we're at the time of the Mashiach. Mashiach is very close coming. And there's a lot of difficulties and nisyonot in our generation. It is full of Tumah in the street. Yeah, I'm not even talking about the Tumah in London, but even the Tumah in Israel and even in Yerushalayim, there's Tumah in the street. And there's Tumah and people, different going on in the world, in the media, on the internet. People, it's causing a lot of damage on the Kedusha of a person. And a person with the internet doesn't have a filter, the Shema is going down in the bin. He has to put a filter on every internet, everything. Some kind of filter on the phone saves. But if a person stands strong, doesn't follow everyone. Oh, everyone has it. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's doing the wrong thing. No, you stop and you do the right thing. When everyone's doing Egel Azav, you stand and make an effort to make it. You'll become that shepherd. You will have the greatest. Just stand strong. Don't lose up. Don't give up. Don't give up. I want to end up with this beautiful story. I'm going to wish you so much love. There's many people who do chesed. Many people who give chesed, give charity. What happens when it's chesed with your Okay, and we're all married men. We all know what it is to come home after a long day of work, after a long day in Kolel, and you come home traveling, tired, and you come home, and your wife, okay, I need help. Okay?
My apologies, I couldn't understand the last question.
I just want to talk about chesed. We said that chesed is different to tzedakah because tzedakah is with your money, and chesed is your goof. And we said tzedakah is for poor people, and chesed is even for rich people. And tzedakah is the only people who are alive, but chesed is also people who are alive and also dead. So there's three things that chesed is more than tzedakah. So I want to talk about chesed, which a person does with their wife. And I said we're all married men, and we know what it means to come home after a long day, traveling home from work or traveling home from college. If you come home and you're tired, and your wife's there and she says, "Okay, I need your help," I've been waiting for you and I need you. And the person's thinking, "Okay, listen, uh, I'm not in the mood now to help or to do anything. It would be nice to have a nice warm, hot meal to eat, after a long day." And it's difficult. It's difficult to help. And that's the time when it's difficult. But in this time of difficult, this is when you gain the most. And like what we saw in the stories, which I said today, when it's difficult, you still do chesed, you still do kindness. That's when you gain the most for yourself. That's v'natenu. When you give, when it's difficult, v'natenu, you get back even much. It's like a spring effect. When you pull back an arrow. So the more you put it back, the harder it is. It's strong. But then when you let go, it flies further on. Right? So the more you pump into it, v'natenu, the more you get back. And it pumps much more. So the more difficult the chesed is, the much more gain. So listen to this story. You with me, Gilad? Can you hear me?
Yeah, thank you.
There was a very poor family lived in Israel, and they lived in the apartment of their grandfather. There was their grandfather left them in their apartment. That's where they were living. It's a family with many children, and they had old furniture. So the man comes home after a long day, and he's extremely tired, and he just wants something to eat, something to sleep. And that's the end of his day. He wants to end off the day. And he comes home, and his wife has an idea. They're a poor family. They can't afford new furniture. They just, but she wants to change. Everyone wants to have something new, something change. What do you do when you can't afford new furniture? You want to change. You want a little bit of change in the house. And she had an idea. What she wants to do. The cupboard is beside his table. Let's move it around. It's a bit of a change.
Sorry, it disconnected again.
Okay, what was the last thing you heard, Gilad?
Change.
She wanted to make a change, and she couldn't afford to buy new furniture, so she decided she's going to change it around and move around the furniture in the house. She wants to move the cupboard, move the table. So she said to her husband, "Please, I want you to move this to the other side of." And the husband was very tired, and the cupboard is very heavy. In the olden days, not like nowadays, but the old times they used to make it from solid wood. Solid wood cupboard is extremely, extremely heavy. You can, it could be a couple of 100 kilos just to move the cupboard. And he's tired, and he's like, "What for? Why? Why do you want to move the cupboard? Just leave it as it is. It's nice how it is. It's over there. I like how it's there. What's the point of moving it? You're not gonna gain." And he started trying to reason with her. It's not worth the change, and it's not worth the trouble. It's not worth the bother. Let's just go to sleep for the day. And he realized that it's really important for her. I really want this. I really want you to change it. I want you to move it, and it'll be nice for me. It'll make me feel good. And And he realized, he was a clever man. He was a clever man, and he realized that this is important for his life. And he knew that it was very difficult. And he decided, I don't understand why Hashem wants me, but he wants me to help him. And at this moment, very difficult for me to do this chesed for my wife. But I know Hashem wants me to do this. And if I'm going to do a chesed for my house, my wife at home, when it's difficult, I know Hashem will give it back. It will make it worth it. Yeah, I'll do good for my wife. I'll get back afterwards. Hashem will make it. So, he rolls up his sleeves. He starts emptying out the cupboard from whatever was on the shelves, the drawers, trying to make it as light as possible. And he puts soap on the floor to try and slide the cupboard, and he's pushing and it gets it moving, sliding across the room. And he's really thinking about doing a chesed for his wife. When they move the cupboard, and there's all of this junk that's behind the cupboard that fell down behind the cupboard. And they see a dusty old bag. He looks at the bag, wipes off the dust. What does he find inside the bag?
Money.
Inside the bag, he finds $20,000 cash. $20,000 cash he finds. And he's like looking at his wife because he says, "What is this? This must be grandfather's money. Saba, the kesef shel Saba. He left us the dira. It's his cupboard. It's his money." So Saba zichrono livracha is gone. Who does he belong to? He belongs to the parents, to my uncles. The Kuda brother was 2 or 3 Yorushim, the inheritance, siblings, the sons of the family. And he said, "Listen, we don't know about any money. He never told us that he left any. It wasn't written in the will. Obviously, he forgot it on top of the cup. Listen, if you found it, it's yours. You found it, it's yours. You keep it." And he made a few phone calls, and they all said, "Listen, if you found it, it must be yours. Hashem wants to have it." And then he was thinking to himself, what made him get this? How did Hashem send this? It was the chesed that he did when it was hard for him to do that chesed for his wife. He wanted to give his wife. What can he give her? He can't buy her new furniture. At least she asked to get around. So you do what you can. When it's difficult, that's not Hashem. But not to do, you think that you're giving, and not to do, you give back. No, no, again, Hashem pays back the chesed. He said to himself, "Listen, if I would have said to her, get it, he would have just backed off his wife and shrugged her off. Don't speak word. Money would stay there. Maybe if a couple of years' time, was up work, but they would have not dust the bag, truck rubbish, turned away. The only reason why I should
Sorry about everybody. Missed the last 3-4 sentences.
he realized, how did he gain that money? He said if he wouldn't have done that chesed with his wife, if he would have said, "Okay, listen, darling, I'm too tired, leave me alone, I'm going to sleep," he wouldn't have moved the cupboard. He would have talked her out of doing the idea of moving around. A couple of years' time, he would have got some Arab workers to move the cupboard, and what they would have found, the bags and the rubbish, they would have thrown it all away. They would have lost everything, all the cash, everything. The only reason why he gained is because he was thinking about someone else. To do chesed with his own wife. To do chesed with someone else didn't cost them any money. It was big effort for him. Difficult. And even though he did it, it was hard. He did that chesed at a difficult time. And that's v'natenu. He thought he was giving his wife, but really he gained the biggest present of his life. $20,000 cash. How many people would say no to that? How many people would be happy to find $20,000 cash? But what does Hashem want you to do? Just give from yourself. Think about other people. What chesed can you do? No, it doesn't cost you. Give from your own pocket. Give chesed to someone. Find can't afford the new furniture. Move it around. The wife thinks it's important for you. You don't understand why she wants it, but it makes it feel good. The chesed. If it's difficult, Hashem will reward you. And that's the message of tonight's shiur. Be giving. Be generous and give back. So let's remember the story with the with my mom's friend that she gave to the poor, pride, Kala. She was orphan. She had no money and she gave away mistakenly and she got big business from it. I just remember when she was in Monaco, instead of going around and enjoying with her husband, she went to find a baby. And that's how she did big business. I just remember that girl that went off the bus and just to be with her friend. She saved her life. I just remember the story of the story of the Al-Shif. That Zoche, to remember all the Torah back at the time when it was difficult, the time when everyone is doing they're hanging, even when it's difficult, hanging and for Shevet Levi. They did the right thing when everyone was failing. That's how they the teacher. But Chesed in a home, that's I
Sorry, Rabbi, I lost you for the last sentence.
I just said that let's remember when it gets difficult, that's the biggest gain we can have. Remember the Egel Zahav and the Shevet Levi gained because they didn't get involved in the Egel Zahav. And Moshe Rabbeinu received all his Torah at the time when Am Yisrael sinned. And then now generations, when everyone is doing Averot, we remember and we stand by the Torah and stand to the Am Kadosh, we'll get the greatest. Do Chesed when it's difficult, even at the time when we're tired and it's difficult, we don't understand why. We're doing it even for our own family. That's when we get the biggest and even in Olam Hazeh, not I hope you all enjoyed the Shiur and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Bezrat Hashem. Thank you for joining the Shiur.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you.